Hey Taurus, how you doing? I'm here to do a weekly reading. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for clicking here. We're looking post a new moon, right? Post new moon in Taurus. Let's see what the energy is like post new moon in Taurus. And we're going to start with some oracles, and then we're going to go into some tarot and find out what's going on for you. At the end of this video, I will tell you how to find the extended, or if you'd like to book a private read, I'll talk about that for a second. Let's find out what's going on for you, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. How are you, my bull gang? I hope you're well. Let's find out what's going on for Taurus. We are starting out with card 17, Co-Create with Spirit. And I'll ask you, are you listening? Are you listening to what Spirit's telling you, or are you just sort of bulldozing your own path? I think you're supposed to be listening. I'm going to say that some of you might be wondering why all the crows are around, and I think that they're trying to get your attention. I'm going to say we have card number 17 here. Card number 17 in the tarot is the Star. I'm going to say that these crows are bringing you messages of healing, my friend. After a tower, it feels like somebody here has gone through a tower or a shift, an uncomfortable shift, I'll say. It doesn't feel like it's anything detrimental, but it does feel like it's an uncomfortable shift, and you may have experienced that over the new moon. We do have adjustments are required. So I feel like that the reason that the shift came is because there were adjustments that were required before you could move forward here. I feel like these adjustments you'll quickly realize that these adjustments, this shift, whatever it was for you, Taurus, is something that was supposed to happen in order for you to be able to move forward. You are going to heal quickly. This is a healing shift for you, actually, out of chaos and into healing. One more card for you, and then we'll pull out the tarot. We've got miracles. Look, this is not starting out bad at all. It says miracles. Expect the wondrous to emerge. I feel like that you needed this shift. Think that you needed this shift in order to realize that things are changing for the better. Because sometimes I feel like you are not willing to entertain hope, only because you've been let down so many times. We've got the antelope spirit. It says life is speeding up. So I think that what you're about to encounter here, Taurus, is that good things are coming. Card number 2 is balanced things, right? It feels like balanced things are showing up in your life. It's time to let it shine. It says here that there's card number 46, which is a 10. So something here, a cycle has come to an end. It feels like a hard cycle because the crow spirit. I'm going to say for those of you who are experiencing a lot of crow activity, I'm not talking about one in the backyard. I'm talking about murders of crows all over the place, making a lot of noise, maybe waking you up. Or irritating you. Why are those crows out there being so loud? We've got the bottom of the deck here, right? This is what's in the future here. Personal issue reaches resolution. So I really feel like this crow spirit, the crows are showing up here to tell you healing is here now. It's time for you to heal, and I know that you might be a little bit maybe cautiously optimistic because you've been through so much in the last 7 or 8 years with Uranus in your sign. But it says here, surrender to the journey. I think this is something you're supposed to surrender to, because when you actually embrace hope for a moment, I feel like that's when the miracles begin to arrive. Let's look at tarot. Tell me about Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Taurus. Yep, this is the rebuilding phase. Look, we've got the 3 of Pentacles here. We've got adjustments required. You might be receiving, I'm going to say that the Page of Cups showing up could, for some of you, this might be an eye-opening surprise for you. That things are actually going to start doing good, going well. And I'm telling you, I am cautiously optimistic. You know that I'm a Taurus as well, because we've been through a lot of hardship over the last little while. We've got the 2 of Pentacles. Look, it's your choice, right? You've got a decision to make here, Taurus. I'm not telling you have to. I know you've been through a lot of hardship. I read it in the comments every single day. I know you've been through a lot of hard times, but you have to choose it. The universe isn't going to push it in your face. You are definitely going to get some sort of a shift. I feel is shifting into healing. I feel like you're going to be woken up by the crows, but it feels like these small adjustments that you're feeling are just tremors after the earthquake is what it feels like. So you're going to have to choose it. And when you choose it, I feel like when you do choose it by surrendering, some sort of personal resolution. And that's personal. Look, it's within you. It's not about someone else or what they did to you. It's a personal resolution. It's a decision you're making about you and deciding, okay, well, maybe it is time to trust the energy as it is. The Three of Pentacles is the rebuilding of something. Hang on. Dropped a card. I feel like I should dive for it. All right. It's the rebuilding. So I think that you're in the rebuilding phase here. It may not feel that way, but I'm just going to say it does feel like you are, it feels like somebody here is either finding a new group of people or new friends. You may have broken away from an old group. It does feel like things are going to start getting better at work. You're going to start feeling a little bit more energy, feeling optimistic, like this is a time for building. It feels like it's a time for networking, finding new people you can trust, collaboration, cooperation. It feels like finding a new community of some sort, but you are now in the rebuilding phase. It's time for you to get used to co-creating with Spirit. Spirit is bringing you healing, I believe. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. We've got the King of Wands. And we have the Nine of Wands. So I'm going to say it's the rebuild after the burnout, after the exhaustion. We've got the King of Wands. So the Nine of Wands is here. King of Wands, that's 10. You can just let it go. You can let it go. If it's at all possible for you to let it go, look, you're still carrying around things from 25 years ago. Things people said to you, things people did to you, carrying a grudge. Whether you want to let it go or not is completely your choice. It's totally up to you. But I feel like healing is here. If you should choose it, if you decide that healing is here for you, you will see things that are healing. If you decide that you're going to continue to hold a grudge, then you will see miserable things around you. You are attracting what your mindset is. So I feel like this Ace of Pentacles is telling me this is a new day. It's time for you to plant a new seed because the seeds you're planting now are actually going to grow. The Ace of Pentacles is the part that you need to put in. It's the practical energy, but it's also, you have to invest in it, right? Somebody can walk up to you with a bag of money, but you can also tell them to leave, that you don't trust where that money came from. Or you can invite them in and say, hey, thanks for the money. It's really all about what your decision-making process is about. So never come to a tarot reading hoping the tarot reader is going to solve all your problems, because really what it comes down to is your discernment and how you're interpreting this information that I'm giving you here. I'm simply just telling you what I feel, and if you agree with that, that's cool. And if you don't, that's all right too. So I feel like you're about to pursue some sort of planting of a seed. It feels like you are realizing that, it's safe to come out, right? It's safe to come out, and it's okay to begin planting your garden, because I feel like it's a time where things are going to grow. As long as you pursue it, is what the King of Wands says. As long as you pursue it like it's something you're never going to let go until you have it, then I feel it's yours. But first you have to put down whatever burdens you're carrying and realize that this is the phase of rebuild. So, we got the Tower here. Interesting, because I called out the Tower here because card 17 comes after 16. 16 is the Tower. So I feel like there was some sort of shift within you. It could be a shift within somebody else, but the Page of Cups is telling me that you're surprised by the shift. It's going to surprise you, I feel. You also could be getting or giving an apology of some sort. It does feel like good news is now traveling toward you. Look, don't fear this Tower. I think that after the 8 years, you've realized that towers never stop, and they don't. That's the bad news. The good news is towers never stop. Look, you have to change in order to progress, right? And I feel like what you've done is you've decided that I'm just not going to let the tower shake me anymore. They're still going to arrive. They're still going to show up once in a while, but how you look at them, deal with them, is totally up to you. When a tower comes, and every single time it comes as mercy to get you out of a place where you're stuck, but also to make you make adjustments, right? And adjustments were required. And so I feel like that's why the Tower came up. I feel like this page tells me that maybe you weren't prepared, but the Tower was clearing the way to bring better things. The Page of Cups is always good news. You could be getting an apology from someone that you've maybe been arguing with, but look, you could be forgiving yourself as well. I'm just saying. The Five of Wands is here. And so it feels like you've been I feel like somebody here has been battling the tower. And what I mean by that is I think that you've been blaming yourself. I think that you've been blaming yourself for things going wrong, blaming yourself for every tower that fell. And the truth of the matter is, it wasn't something that you could have put off any longer. If anything, all you did was not make a decision. And the universe said, look, without change, there's no progress, and you must progress while you're here. That's the whole point of being here on the training grounds called Earth, right? So I feel like you were fighting this tower, but I don't think you are anymore. I'm gonna say that I feel like you realize that adjustments are required now and then. And I think that although the towers keep falling, that you understand that they come with a purpose. We've got the Ten of Swords in the reverse. These are not devastating towers. That's what I'm saying. They're not here to hurt you. It's not about being in pain. It's not about being betrayed. It's not any of that. I'm going to say it's asking you just to release. Why are you carrying it around? Ten of Swords in the reverse for me is, why are you carrying it around? It's done. It's back there. It's at the beginning of the cycle, and you can choose to let it go or you can choose to carry it around. And whether you end up happy or miserable in the midst of this tower is really, truly a decision. The decision is up to you. So expect the wonders to emerge should you decide that you are going to choose between one or the other, that you are going to decide stability is where you're going to be regardless of what towers show up here. Tell me about the Two of Pentacles. We've got the Six of Swords. Yeah. So I think you're moving on to make some sort of a choice that's going to be made in the calmer waters. I feel like back here, whatever was back here, to me, that's the past. Whatever was back here, Taurus, I feel like really shook your foundation. It feels like it was hard to deal with. I feel like as the years went by and you continued to come up against tower after tower, I feel like you have realized that those towers were necessary in order to keep you moving, but I feel like you're now out of the chaos. I feel like it's behind you. Look, this person here is looking over their shoulder saying, whew, that was a tough one. That was a tough cycle. But I think it's time for you to start making decisions based on the calmer waters and not on the chaos. We've got the Five of Pentacles. Look, you are walking away. You are detaching, my friend, from things that are chaotic, whether those be people. I don't care if those people are in your life, in your family, in your friendship group. I feel like you're leaving the chaos behind. I just heard Dan Reynolds say, I want to leave my old life behind. And that's from Thunder, his song Thunder. That's Imagine Dragons. And so I feel like you want to leave the old life behind. It feels as though you are detaching from anything that is not nurturing. That is not nurturing your life, that doesn't make you feel nurtured. If you've got people that you constantly have to text or call or because they're not paying attention to you, just let them go. Let them go. Look, the 5 and the 2 is here. That's 7. 7 is be intentional with your time, effort, energy, money. Wherever you're putting your pentacle self, please be very intentional, because that's when the wondrous emerges, when the universe realizes that, look, are you going to win the lottery? Maybe you do, but maybe you don't, because you're a person who overgives and you're going to end up broke in 5 days anyway, because you're going to give it to everybody else. I feel like there's reasons why things happen, and I feel like you are now moving out of this chaotic sort of energy in the mind, and it's time to move forward, but I think you're cautiously optimistic. I'm going to say that, knights are always brave. This one is emotional because they're carrying a cup. This one is also the one who tends to fall in love with things that they see as potential. So Pisces, I'm looking at you. I know this is a Taurus reading, but for those of you who have a Pisces placement, I'm looking at you, right? Because you will tend to fall in love with somebody you see as having potential. You're falling in love with their potential, but they haven't seen their potential yet. I feel like this has been a path for you, my friend, of detours. I'm going to say there's been many detours. So I feel like you wanted to go from point A to point B, or you wanted to go from A to Z or Z, or wherever you are in the world, however you say it. I feel like you just wanted to get to the end. You want to get to the outcome, but the universe is telling you, look, there's a lot of detours. I feel like you're like, I still haven't got that thing accomplished because of all the detours. I really do believe that the detours were necessary in order to bring you to a place where you make literal decisions with the swords here. And when you do, that's when the miracles emerge. Because I feel like when you're caught up in this tower, you're caught up in the noise of the crows, while things are adjusting still, you don't believe that there are miracles out there and that the wondrous will emerge. And I feel like now you are ready to surrender. I feel like you've decided that when you surrender to the tower, it's far easier than when you fight it. All right, and put 3 cards down here, and we're going to go into the extended. We're going to talk more about this. These 3 cards could end up being the outcome. They could end up being more advice for you. And let's find out what's going on here, and then I'll tell you how to get to the extended. We've got the Ace of Cups. We've got the High Priestess. And we've got the 8 of Cups. Taurus, I think you're being far more discerning about who you allow in your life. Who is... I feel like you're now trusting the self. The High Priestess is here. I feel like you're practicing silence. So when somebody does you wrong, when somebody promises you something and doesn't follow through, when you really need a hand and someone's not there to give you a hand, even though they see you struggling, I feel like you're remaining silent, but I also think you're stepping back. I think you're stepping back in silence in order to be able to fill your own cup. I think you're like, okay, well, if I figure out how to do it on my own without you helping me, then I guess you've outlived your usefulness in my life. It feels like you are a person who's always there for everybody, but not everybody's always there for you. I'm not talking about everybody in your life. There are people there who are your ride or dies, who are there for you. The ones that are not there for you, Taurus, I feel like you are detaching and walking away. Because I feel like your main purpose going forward now in these cycles coming up, post new moon in Taurus, I feel like you've realized the 9 of Cups is here, but you have to choose the 9 of Cups, right? When you become very self-sufficient, 9s are always about doing it by yourself. When you become self-sufficient emotionally, now you have choice. When you are not self-sufficient emotionally, when you cannot self-regulate, Taurus, that's when you need the relationship, need the partner, need someone to make you happy. It's because you're not yet at your inner and outer happiness. You still need external validation. So I feel like you are now walking away, being quiet, and it's time for you. I think your intuitive energy is telling you it's time for you to fill your own cup. We're going to go into the extended. We're going to talk more about this. Yep, we're going to talk about that. How can you walk away? We'll talk more about this. We'll pull this apart, as I say. And if you want to be in the extended, please look at the comment section. There is one pinned comment that is directly under the video in the pinned comment. When you click there, you can click the link to Hypsee if you're interested in a private read. If you're interested in following us into the extended, then please click on the link to the membership area. That's where all of the extended readings go. I'm going to go for now, Taurus, but I'll be back because I'm always back. There we go. The King of Pentacles is here. You are now in this stability. If you choose it, it's always a choice, right? Always a choice. So some good things are coming that are going to give you a lot more stability and confidence. I feel in your life, time, effort, energy, money, career, there are going to be more opportunities showing up for you, and we'll talk about that as well. I'm going to go for now, but I will be back because I am always back, Taurus. You know that. I'm going to go for now. Take care, and see you in the extended. Bye-bye.